Okay, my screen is visible to all. So good morning to all. Is there any unwanted noise here which is coming? It is audible to you properly. Just drop me the message if it is audible properly or not. Because I have checked from my cell phones, but it is a little bit interrupted. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, so good morning to all. So for last lectures, we have started our second units. For not for last, for before that. So that our second units, the introduction to Python programming constructs. That units we have already started. In that units, we have covered a few of the points like data types and variables. In data types and variables, that as we know, data types is used. Every variable has a data types. Okay, and for there are different data types in C, C++, in Java. The same data types are used in the Python as well, but there is a little difference between data types. Is that before that we are using integer, character, float, double, long, short, but in Pythons we are starting the data types with the help of Python numbers list, Python strings, Python set, Python dictionaries, and conversion between the data types. The data types we have already seen. Then every data types has depends upon your object. So as we know, object is nothing but the runtime entities, which are already seen in the object oriented programming subjects. Okay, there are various concepts which are going to support for the object that we have already seen it. Next is the variables. So that point is also covered in the previous lectures. The variable is nothing but we are using variable to store the, or we are using variables to store the memory locations. Okay, I have given the example as well. Integer a is equal to 5 followed by the semicolons. So a is nothing but our variables. We are storing the value of that variable is 5, and data type of that a is nothing but the integer. So integer is equal to by to store the values. Okay, so that is nothing but the variables that we have already covered for the previous lectures. So then collection data types we have already seen. So I will tell collection data types. So collection data types, for example, you have one string called as an hello. So string is nothing but the sequence of characters. So sequence of characters is nothing but your words. That is, for example, in hello there are many words are this, okay, or many letters are this, H, E, double L, O. Okay, so that word is nothing but the small pieces. Okay, so small piece is nothing but our collection data types. Every alphabet, or we can call it as a collections of alphabet, is nothing but the collection data types. So then we have also covered control structures or flow structures. In that flow structures we have seen different Boolean functions and comparison operators. Boolean, the name itself says that the value written either it may be the true or it may be the false. And then we have already seen the comparison operators. Okay, so comparison operator like you was greater than, sorry, not greater than. So we will start from the first. That is logical operators are this. Assignment operators are this. Then equality operators are this, then addition, subtractions, multiplications, like that we have seen in the comparison operators. Otherwise after that, greater than equal to, less than equal to, is equal to, assign is equal to nothing but the assignments operators. Okay, that operators we have seen for the previous lectures, and based on that operators we have also executed the program as well. So that is nothing but the operators. Then we have seen the loops, that for loops, then if, then conditional statements or control structures like if loops, then else if loops. Okay, then their basic syntax we have already seen, then their example as well. Okay, so that points we have covered for the previous lecture. That is else if, and then boolean logic. Boolean logic is nothing but your operator like and, or, and, not. ओके, बट सिम्पली आपण सी आणि सी प्लस प्लस मध्ये काय करत होतो, तर त्याचे सिम्बॉल यूज करत होतो. पण पायथॉन मध्ये डायरेक्टली यू कॅन यूज द वर्ड्स दॅट इज अँड, ऑर, अँड, नॉट. In that fashion you can use the boolean logical operators. Okay, so that is nothing but the boolean operators. The next concept or next points we have covered for the previous lecture as well, operator precedence. Okay, so operator precedence, it can be extension of the mathematical ideas or order of comparisons or order of operations. In that, we have seen some of the example for the is equal to, that is higher precedence operators, that is assignment operators. We have seen the example for that, and then we have seen the some of the operators and their precedence, highest precedence or the lowest precedence, which operator having the highest precedence and which operator is having the lowest precedence. Okay, that operators we have already seen it. Let's see, let's revise that operators, that is exponential operators. That exponential operator is nothing but the rise to the power, then complement, then unary plus, then unary minus, multiply, divide, modules, and floor functions, then addition, subtractions, right shift operators, bitwise left shift operators, and bitwise right shift operators, then and bitwise exclusive or, bitwise or, then comparison operators, equality operators, assignment operators, identity operators, like that. Okay, that all operators we have already executed program based on the all the operators. Okay, so the next points we have stopped for the previous lectures, that is while loop. आपण इथे स्टॉप केलेलं while loop अशी आपला प्रोग्राम एक्झिक्यूट झाला नव्हता while loop today, and that programs we are going to execute for the today's lectures. Okay, I will explain the while loops, what is while loops, and then we'll execute that program as well. So as we know, if statements is run once if the condition evaluates to true. जर तुमची conditions true असेल तर if statement काय होतं, execute होतं. Never if it evaluates to false. जर तुमची condition false असेल तर तुमचा if condition execute होत नाही, तो कशामध्ये जातो, else part मध्ये जातो. ते आपल्याला माहितच आहे, C मध्ये झालेलंच आहे. A while statement is similar except that it can be run more than once. Okay, एका while statement कधी execute होते, if the statements are more than once. The statement inside it are repeatedly executed. In while loops, the statements are repeatedly executed as long as the condition holds. Okay, जोपर्यंत तुमची कंडिशन सॅटिस्फाय होत नाही तोपर्यंत तुमचं while loop काय होतं, एक्झिक्यूट होत असते. Once it evaluates to false, the next section of code is executed. It means that once the while loop is evaluated to false, then next sections of code it is going to be executed. Okay, so the examples are there. So we have to print the numbers from 1 to 5. Okay, for that to print the number from 1 to 5 we are using the while loops in these programs, and we have initialized value of I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1 while I is less than equal to 5, and this is the identity blocks. In print of I, we are printing the values of I. Okay, and I plus is equal to 1, that is the increment. I plus is equal to 1, that is the increment, and print that I finish. Okay, that while loop is going to be finished here. Okay, so that is the while loop examples. I is equal to 1, we have to print the number from 1 to 5. Okay, for that purpose I initialize the value of I is equal to 1. Okay, then while I is less than equal to 5, then print of I, and I is incremented by 1. So I will execute that same programs on the Okay, so I is equal to 1. Okay, that is, I'm initiating the value of I is equal to 1. Then while I is less than equal to 5. Okay, and then block. Then print value of I, print of I, enter, and then increment the I value, I plus is equal to 1. Okay, and then print finish. Then print finish. Then enter. Here there is a problem for the printf statement. Then if there is a problem, then you can execute like that. If I is equal to 1, then while I is less than equal to 5, then print of I, and then we need to increment the values I. Okay, and then simply press and enter, so that 1 2 3 4 5 the number will get printed on this Python terminals. Okay, so I is equal to 1, file I less than equal to 5. Here I is equal to 1, it is there. If 1 is less than 5, yes. Then print of I. That here it will print as an 1. The next it will increment by 2. Okay, so 2 is equal to 1. Then 2 is less than 5, yes. Condition satisfied. Then print of 2. Then here it will increment as 2 plus 1, that is 3. Like that the condition will satisfied, and output will generate like 1 2 3 4 and 5. So that is our while loop in the Python. Okay, so next is next one more program is remaining for our break statement. Okay, so you can stop the program execution by using control plus C shortcut or by closing the programs. ओके, म्हणजे याचा अर्थ काय, जर तुम्हाला पायथॉनचे टर्मिनल्स क्लोज करायचं असेल तर कंट्रोल प्लस सी कीबोर्ड वरचे की प्रेस करा, इट विल ऑटोमॅटिकली एक्झिट युअर टर्मिनल्स. So next control structure is there for the break statement. Okay, so the program was remaining for the break statements. I will execute that program. Explanation we already completed for the previous lectures. So let's see what is break statements. To end up a while loop prematurely, the break statement can be used. Okay, suppose I will give the example based on it. Suppose we have to print the number from 1 to 5. Okay, but I want the number 1 to 4. Okay, 1 to 4, and after that 5. So in that case you need to use the break statement to break that loops. Okay, when encountered inside a loops, the break statement causes the loops to finish immediately. Okay, I want the number 1 to 4, and then later I want the number called as an 5. So in between I want the break statement or break keyword. When encounter inside a loop, so break statement causes the loops to finish immediately. It means that that loop will finish immediately, other numbers will not get printed. If the user print that numbers with the help of another loops, then they can print it. Now see the example for the break statement here. Okay, so I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0. I have initialized the value of I 0. Then while 1 is equal to 1, then print of I, then print of 1. Now here the it will increment the I values, and then if I is greater than equal to 5, I is greater than equal to 5, then print breaking. जर I ची व्हॅल्यू 5 पेक्षा मोठी किंवा त्याच्या बरोबर असेल तर काय होणार आहे, ब्रेक होणार आहे. ओके, अँड देन इट्स गोइंग टू फिनिश, print and finish. I have executed the same program here. I will show you. Okay, I will execute for your understanding. I is equal to 0, then while 1 is equal to 1. Okay, 1 is equal to 1, then enter, print of I, then I plus is equal to 1. Okay. Then if I is greater than equal to 5, then enter print breaking. Print breaking, and then print of 5, then increment if then print, that is breaking. While you are typing the program, you should very care about that. Okay, if there is any mistakes, then you need to type the same program twice and then break. Okay, and then enter. So 0 1 2 3 4 and then breaking. आता मी इथे नंबर्स किती प्रिंट केलेत 0 1 2 3 अप टू 4 नंबर्स आणि नंतर मी काय केले ब्रेक कीवर्ड यूज केले म्हणजेच काय जोपर्यंत इथे कंडिशन दिले इफ आय इज ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 5 असेल तर काय होणार आहे तिथे आपला लूप ब्रेक होणार आहे म्हणजेच काय तिथून नंतरचे नंबर्स प्रिंट होणार नाहीत अँड देन print as in finish. Okay, so that is the use of the break keyword in the Python. So next is a continue. Continue the only program execution was remaining. Rest of the parts we have already covered for the previous lecture. So let's see one more time. Continue. Another statement that can be used within the loops is continue. Unlike break, continue jump back to the top of the loops rather than stopping it. म्हणजे ब्रेक काय करतोय तिथे लूप काय होतंय स्टॉप होतोय पण कंटिन्यू मध्ये काय होतंय इट विल जम्प फ्रॉम top of the loops and then statement will get executed. It is rather than stopping it immediately. So see that is the examples is given. Okay, continue unlike break, continue jump back to the top of the loop rather than stopping it. So that is the examples. We have to print the numbers from 1 to 5. Same examples are there. Just see the difference. Okay. For example, we have to print the number from 1 to 5. Okay, but uh, but I'm using the continue keywords to print 1 to 2 numbers, and then then again I need to print the another numbers. So that example is there. I is equal to 0, then file true. Okay, I have executed that programs above. I will show it here. I is equal. It is visible. It is visible to all. I have executed these programs, but for time being, I'm not going to print type one more times. So here I is equal to 0, file true. That is the label is there. File true. Then increment the number I plus is equal to 1. If I is equal to 2, then skipping. If I is equal to 2, then skipping and then continue. If it is skipping, then again number will going to or the loop will jump from the top of the statement. So top statement is while true I plus is equal to 1. If I is equal to 2, then it will going to continue. If I is equal to 5, then it is going to be break. Printf breaking and then break. And here print of I, that number will get printed. I will execute that program for your understanding as well. I is equal to 1, 5 true, then increment I plus is equal to 1. Okay? Enter, then use if I is equal to 2, then use label, then print skipping, and then continue. Enter. If I is equal to 5, then print, that is breaking, and then break, print value of I. Okay, and then enter. So skipping to the, then again our block will go from top of the loops, that is I is equal to I plus is equal to 2. That first it is 2, then it will increment the number by 1, 2 plus 1, that is 3. Then I is equal to 3 is equal to 5, then 3 will get printed here. Then again loop will going to be increment 3 plus 1, that is 4, and then 4 is equal to 5, no, then again it will print as in 4. Then again increment the I value, that is 5, and 5 is equal to 5, then breaking and print of I. Okay, so that is the use of continue statement. So next is a list. So as we have already covered, the list is nothing but we need to print the number sequentially. So lists are another type of object in Python. They are used to store and index list of items. Okay, so list are, as I already told in data types of data or data types, we already covered the list points. But the list which is used to store the index list of items. So list is created using square brackets with comma separating the items. List कशी create करतात with the use of square brackets with commas separating the items. So you need to separate the items by giving the comma, and list is always represented, as already told in data types, list is always represented in the square brackets. So next, certain items in a list can be accessed by using the index in स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट्स. म्हणजेच काय, जो तुम्ही स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट मध्ये लिस्ट किंवा आयटम्स रिप्रेझेंट करणार आहे, तर ते आयटम्स आपल्याला ऍक्सेस करायचं असेल तर काय करावं लागेल आपल्याला, वी नीड टू स्पेसिफाय द इंडेक्स. ओके, सो लिस्ट सेम ॲज लाईक युअर अरे. अरे इज नथिंग बट द कलेक्शन्स ऑफ सेम डेटा टाइप्स ऑफ एन एलिमेंट. जर आपल्याला ते अरे मधले आयटम्स ऍक्सेस करायचे असेल तर आपण काय करत होतो, इंडेक्स नंबर्स देत होतो. ओके, that is, or we can call it as an subscript, or we can call it as an subscripts or index numbers. तसंच जर लिस्ट मधले आयटम्स जर ऍक्सेस करायचे असेल तर we need to give the index numbers. Okay, so programs are there. The certain items in the list can be accessed by using the index in square brackets. So programs are there. Suppose words are there. So words in a square bracket, I have represented the list, that is I love Python. Okay, so word is equal to in square brackets, list are there. list is always represented in double quotes. Okay, because it looks like your string. You can represent it in single quote or double quote. So I have used I love Python. Then प्रिंट आता मला काय करायचं आहे, एक एक वर्ड तुमचा प्रिंट करायचा आहे. पहिला कुठला आहे आय, दुसरा कुठला आहे लव आणि थर्ड कुठला आहे पायथॉन. सो प्रिंट वर्ड ऑफ झिरो. वर्ड ऑफ झिरो, झिरो हा काय तुमचा इंडेक्स नंबर आहे. वर्ड ऑफ झिरो, झिरोला काय प्रिंट होणार आहे तुमचा आय. लव दॅट प्रिंट वर्ड्स ऑफ वन. ओके, वन काय आहे तुमचा इंडेक्स नंबर आहे. इंडेक्स नंबर वन ला काय स्टोर केलाय पण कुठली स्ट्रिंग स्टोर केली लव. आणि दिस प्रिंट वर्ड ऑफ टू, टू ला काय स्टोर केलंय पायथॉन. ओके, सो काय प्रिंट होणार आहे तुमचं आय लव पायथॉन. ओके, मी प्रोग्राम एक्झिक्यूट करते. सेम प्रोग्राम. सपोज द वर्ड्स okay is equal to list which is always represented in the square bracket. Then I use I comma in double quote low and then Python. Okay, and then enter. आता मला काय करायचे ह्या वर्ड्स ऍक्सेस करायचे इंडिव्हिज्युअली. तर मी काय करणार आहे प्रिंट वर्ड्स. वर्ड्स हे काय झालं तुमचा ऑब्जेक्ट झाला. ओके, अँड देन झिरो. झिरो हा तुमचा काय झाला इंडेक्स. तर आउटपुट काय असणार तुमचं आय. सेकंड आता वर्ड तुम्हाला प्रिंट करायचंय. ओके ओके, प्रिंट words that is one. Okay, and then enter. So the second word is love. Now third, print words two. Okay, and then enter. So that is nothing but our list. Okay, so this is our list. So next, the first item's index is 0 rather than 1, it might be expected. Same सांगितले, तर instead of 1, the item numbers or index always starts from your 0. That is already told for the previous lecture as well. So that is nothing but the list. List also comes in your control structures or flow control. So next is an okay. Wait for some time. I will allow for some of the students, and then we'll start. Okay, somebody just a message on the groups. Those who want to join, they should join immediately. Just message on the groups or division in division A as well as in division B. If they want to join, they should join immediately. Otherwise, what will happen? There is lots of different disturbance between us. They are ते मला मेसेज करतात व्हॉट्सअपला, मॅम प्लीज अलाव अस. इन दॅट इट इज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so those who are coming late for the session, just keep in mind that they should join on time, because already I have given 15 minutes and still you guys are disturbing in between. Okay, and don't do such kind of things. They are just ping me on WhatsApp. They, ma'am, please join us. Please allow us in that fashion. If it is okay, if there is a problem for maybe any things at that time, so you should manage by your own. Okay, so that is nothing but our list. So typically a list will contain atom of a single type. The list will contain atom of single atom टाइप्स. ओके, म्हणजेच काय, आपण काय करत होतो, लिस्ट स्टोर करून ठेवत होतो कशामध्ये, एक ऍटम मध्ये, दॅट इज नथिंग बट द वर्ड्स. बट इट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल टू इन्क्लूड सेव्हरल डिफरंट टाइप्स. ओके, म्हणजे दुसरे पण टाइप्स पॉसिबल असतात टू स्टोर द लिस्ट. ओके, लिस्ट कॅन ऑल्सो बी नेक्स्टेड विद इन अदर लिस्ट. नेक्स्टेड म्हणजे काय, एकापेक्षा जास्त आपण लिस्ट एकाच टाइप मध्ये स्टोर करून ठेवू शकतो. दॅट इज द लिस्ट कॅन ऑल्सो बी नेक्स्टेड विद इन अदर लिस्ट. आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल इथे दिलं, एक्झाम्पल एक दिलं, एक नंबर आहे 33, एक नंबर आहे, नंबर इज इक्वल टू 33. थिंग्स, थिंग्स इज नथिंग बट द अवर टाइप is equal to, type is equal to string. Okay, first string comma 0, then again one more list is there, 11 22 and numbers, 11 22 and numbers, and then 3.40. आता इथे इंडेक्स नंबर तुम्ही कसा देणार आहे, पहिला स्ट्रिंग आहे तो 0 असणार आहे, दुसरा 0 आहे तो 1 असणार आहे, आणि तिसरी जी लिस्ट आहे 11 22 आणि नंबर्स, ह्याला कसं स्टार्ट होणार आहे परत, 0 1 2. ओके, अँड देन 2 2. okay, 2 2 and then 3, like that the list will be stored in the things type. Okay, I will execute that program, you will understood very clearly. Okay, so that is number is equal to 33. Okay, now I'm going to store one list. Things is equal to, in single code, first word is string, second is 0, so 0, no need to give double code, and then another strings are there at 11 22 and then number. Okay, then comma, then 3.40. okay, and then enter. Now I want to access the list or list atom one by one. Now print things. Okay, that is nothing but our object, and then index 0. Okay, then enter, that is nothing but string. Now second is number, print things, that is index number is 1, enter, that is 0. Now third is print things, that is 2, and then enter. Okay, तर सेकंड इंडेक्स नंबरला काय मी स्टोर केले, कुठली 11 22 आणि 33. इथे काय तुम्हाला 11 22 आणि इथे नंबर आहे, इनपुट काय नंबर आहे, पण नंबर इन्स्टेड ऑफ नंबर्स इट विल रिप्लेस एज अ value of that number is 33. Okay, so 11 22 and 33. Now next is a print things, that is 2 and 2. Okay, तर इथे काय होणार आहे तुमचं, इट विल गिव्ह एज एन प्रिंट. ओके सॉरी, इथे THINGS बरोबर आहे, ऑब्जेक्ट THINGS 2 and 2. Okay, 2 and 2, that is nothing but the 2 and 2, that is the second index. We're storing the value at 33. And then print things. आता एक 0 1 2 3. आता इथे काय करा, 3 करा, बघा काय होते प्रिंट. in things. Okay, so 3.14. Like that you can display the atoms within that list sequentially. Okay, so that is output string 0 11 22 and 33, and then 33. आता इथे एक स्टेटमेंट दिले. I think the color is red. Might be this statement is not going to be visible for you. I will read that statement. List of list are often used to represent 2D grids. म्हणजे लिस्ट मधले लिस्ट कशासाठी, 2 डायमेन्शनल ग्रिड्स असेल तर ते रिप्रेझेंट करण्यासाठी लिस्ट यूज केले जातात. As Python lacks the multi-dimensional array that would be the use for this for in another language. म्हणजेच काय, पायथॉन तुम्हाला मल्टी डायमेन्शनल अरे साठी पण यूज केलं जातं. फॉर एक्झाम्पल जसं तुम्ही अरे यूज करता सिंगल डायमेन्शनल, 2 डायमेन्शनल, मल्टी डायमेन्शनल, तसंच तुम्ही पायथॉनचाही यूज करू शकता फॉर रिप्रेझेंटिंग द मॅट्रिक्स, टू फॉर्मिंग द मॅट्रिक्स. सो दॅट इज विथ द हेल्प ऑफ अ लिस्ट. अजून एक एक्झाम्पल दिले लिस्टचा. इंडेक्सिंग आउट ऑफ बाउंड ऑफ पॉसिबल लिस्ट व्हॅल्यू कॉजेस अँड इंडेक्स एरर. आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल तुमचं एक्सेप्शन येत होतं जावामध्ये, इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ बाउंड. इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ बाउंड म्हणजे काय, कुठल्याही टाईपचं एक्सेप्शन असेल जर तुम्ही, व्हॉट इज इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ बाउंड? इट मीन्स दॅट द व्हॅल्यू कॉजेस अन इंडेक्स एरर. म्हणजे तो इंडेक्स, त्या इंडेक्सला जर ती व्हॅल्यू नसेल त्या इंडेक्सला, फॉर एक्झाम्पल आता मी माझा इंडेक्स नंबर 3 होता, 3 पाशी मी कुठली व्हॅल्यू यूज केलेले 3.14 आणि त्या लिस्टमध्ये इंडेक्स नंबर 4 नाहीये, 4 ला मी कुठलीच व्हॅल्यू स्टोर केलेली नाहीये, तर तिथे कुठला एरर दाखवणार तुम्हाला, इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ बाउंड. सो ऑफ पॉसिबल लिस्ट कॉजेस value causes an index error. Sometimes such as string can be indexed like list. Indexing string behave as thought you are indexing a list containing each character in the string. So for other purpose such as string, indexing them it's not possible and it causes an type error. काही वेळा इंडेक्सिंग पॉसिबल नाहीये लिस्ट मध्ये, त्याच्यामुळे एरर येऊ शकतात. ओके, फॉर एक्झाम्पल इथे ह्यांनी केलंय, एक एक्झाम्पल दिलेलं. सपोज स्ट्रिंग इज इक्वल टू, आता मी इथे स्ट्रिंग स्टोर करते कुठली, हॅलो वर्ल्ड, हॅलो वर्ल्ड, देन एंटर अँड देन प्रिंट स्ट्रिंग ऑफ 6. स्ट्रिंग ऑफ 6 म्हणजे काय, आपल्याला 6वा वर्ड पाहिजे ह्या स्ट्रिंग मधला, तर 6 वर्ड कुठला आहे बघा, W. 1 2 3 4 5 6. okay, so 0 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. so 6 लोकेशन ला कुठला वर्ड आहे आपला, W. तर W इथे काय होणार आहे, प्रिंट होणार आहे. ओके, तर अशा पद्धतीने पण तुम्ही स्ट्रिंग काय करू शकता, रिप्रेझेंट करू शकता. ओके, so that is nothing, that is for the list. नेक्स्ट, लिस्टचे ऑपरेशन्स कुठले कुठले ते बघायचे. ओके, सो atoms at a certain index in a list can be reassigned. Okay, operation of the list, that is the first, see the example. So we are storing the list atoms. Okay, and that list atoms we can be reassigned. So that examples are given. Number is equal to 24 24 24 24 and 24. ओके, आता इथे नंबर ऑफ 2 म्हणजे सेकंड लोकेशन आपल्याला काय स्टोर करायचंय, 55. म्हणजे थर्ड 0 1 2 ह्या 24 ला काय स्टोर होणार आहे आपला नंबर 55. आणि तो पंचा आणि तो काय लिस्ट काय होणार आहे, प्रिंट होणार आहे. लेट्स सी, आय विल एक्झिक्यूट इट. नंबर और नम्स इज इक्वल टू, नंबर स्टोर करा, 24 24 24 24 24 24 and 24 and then enter. आता रिअसाइन करायचे आहेत आपल्याला नंबर्स. प्रिंट, नॉट प्रिंट, नम्स ऑफ 2 is equal to 55. Nums of 2 is equal to 55. Then enter. And now print of nums. And then enter. तर सेकंड लोकेशनला आपल्याला कुठला नंबर रिअसाइन झालाय, 55. ओके. नाउ आता मला सेकंडला झालं. आता नाउ आय वॉन्ट टू रिअसाइन द नंबर्स फॉर ऑन थर्ड लोकेशन. Numbers of 3 is equal to, I will store 40. Okay, and then print, that is, I want to print the numbers nums. Okay, that is object is num and then enter. तर इथे काय होणार आहे, थर्ड लोकेशनला आपला कुठला नंबर रिअसाइन होणार आहे, 40. ओके. सो नेक्स्ट इज अ लिस्ट कॅन बी ऍडेड अँड मल्टिप्लाइड इन अ सेम वे ॲज अ स्ट्रिंग. म्हणजे लिस्ट आपण ऍड पण करू शकतो आणि मल्टिप्लिकेशन पण करू शकतो. दॅट इज अ दुसरा ऑपरेशन आहे, दॅट इज द ऍडिशन. फर्स्ट इज अ नंबर्स कॅन बी reassigned. Second, we can perform the addition and multiplication in the list. So let's see how we are going to perform. We are storing the numbers is equal to 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so that is the numbers. Now print nums plus 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Then complete the bracket and then enter. ओके. तर इथे काय झाले, ऍड नंबर 4, 5, 6 हे कशामध्ये ऍड झाले, प्रिव्हियस लिस्ट मध्ये. दॅट इज 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. इट इज विजिबल. ओके, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That numbers is adding. Now we have to multiply the numbers. So print nums into 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Okay, that number is multiplied by 3. So next, the insert method is similar to append, except that it allows you to insert a new items at any position in the list as opposed to just at the end. Okay, तर ह्याच्यामध्ये इन्सर्ट मेथड इज सिमिलर टू अपेंड. आपल्याला एखादा नंबर इन्सर्ट करायचं असेल तर इथे इन्स्टेड ऑफ अपेंड we are using the insert methods to add a new element within that list, except that it allows you to insert a new items at any position in the list as opposed to just at the end. म्हणजे काय, कुठेही त्या लिस्ट मध्ये जर आपल्याला एखादा नंबर्स इन्सर्ट करायचा असेल तर आपण फक्त ऍट द एंडलाच तो नंबर काय करू शकतोय, इन्सर्ट करू शकतोय. एक प्रोग्राम दिलाय एक, आय विल एक्झिक्यूट द प्रोग्राम्स. वर्ड्स is equal to single code string. Okay, or instead of string use python. आणि दुसरी लिस्ट आहे किंवा दुसरा वर्ड आहे fun. Okay, and then enter. Then index is equal to 1 and then words dot इन्सर्ट ही मेथड यूज करणार आहे. तर आपल्याला कुठे इन्सर्ट करायचं आहे, इंडेक्स कॉमा इज. ओके, index comma is, then enter and then print of words, then enter. Python is firm, Python is fun. ओके, तर आपण कुठे इन्सर्ट केलंय, ऍट द मिडलला, ऍट द मिडल, कारण इथे आपण इंडेक्स इज इक्वल टू 1 दिलाय. आता इंडेक्स इज इक्वल टू 2 दिलं तर काय होणार आहे बघा. इंडेक्स Python is fun. Now index is 2. Okay, enter, then words dot insert index is. Okay, and then print words. Okay, तर 2 दिला तर ऍट द एंडला तो स्ट्रिंग काय होणार आहे, अपेंड होणार आहे. पायथॉन फन इज, पण हे वाचायला किती खराब वाटतंय ना, पायथॉन फन इज फन, दॅट इज द ग्रामॅटिकली करेक्ट, बट पायथॉन फन इज it is very bad reading, we can call it as. Okay, so Python fun is, and Python is fun, it is good. Okay, so that grammatically is correct. So let's see, the index method finds the first occurrence of a list and return its index. If the item isn't in the list, it writes a value error. आता बघा, the index method finds the first occurrence of a list items and return as an इंडेक्स. जर तो आयटम लिस्ट मध्ये नसेल तर काय होणार आहे, तुम्हाला व्हॅल्यू एरर दाखवणार आहे. आता बघा, मी एक्झाम्पल देते ह्याच्यावरती, प्रिंट. ओके, पण आता जर तो इंडेक्स आयटम मध्ये नसेल, फॉर एक्झाम्पल 5, इंडेक्स इज इक्वल टू 5, देन वर्ड ओके, word dot insert index comma is and then print of words. म्हणजेच काय की इंडेक्स 5 हा लिस्ट मध्ये नाहीये, तर त्याच्यामुळे तुमची जी स्ट्रिंग असणार आहे ती अपेंड होणार नाही कशामध्ये, लिस्ट मध्ये. अशा वेळेस कुठला एरर दाखवणार तुम्हाला, व्हॅल्यू एरर. ओके, इफ द आयटम इजंट इन द लिस्ट, इट राइज अ value errors. So that is the use of insert methods in the list. So how many methods or operations are till now in the list? First is reassign the numbers. Second, addition and multiplications, multiply the items. And third is fourth is an insert methods. Okay. So next is a range. Okay, so it is visible to all. Okay, so next function ahe, that is the range. So range function creates a sequential list of numbers. Range function creates a sequential list of numbers. The code below generates list containing all of the integer up to 10. The just remember that a range function which is used to create the sequential list of a numbers. So examples are given. We have to print the number from 1 to 10. Okay, for writing the numbers in the list sequentially, we need to specify only range of that numbers, means that in that range the number will get printed. So number is equal to number is equal to list in bracket range of 10, in bracket range of 10, and then print as a numbers. So whenever you are using the range functions in the list, it will automatically print the number sequentially within that range. So that is the use of range function. So I will execute that program. Numbers is equal to list, numbers equal to list in bracket range, in bracket range of list, range of list, that is number is 10. Okay, number is 10, and then print number, then enter. So the range function which is used to print the numbers sequentially within the list. Okay, so I will just delete erase it, and then I will open it. So तुम्हाला it will be visible properly. So that numbers is equal to list, list in bracket range of 10. Okay, so then print of numbers. ओके, तर 1 ते 10 नंबर तुमचे काय होणार आहे, त्या रेंज मधले नंबर्स प्रिंट होणार आहे. सो दॅट इज द रेंज फंक्शन. So the call to the list is necessary because range by itself create a range object, and this must be converted to a list if you want to use it at once. म्हणजेच काय, the call to the list is necessary because range by itself create a range object. रेंज जे फंक्शन आहे ते रेंज ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं, and that it must be converted to a list, and that object is automatically going to convert it into the list if you want to use it as once. Okay, if range is called with one argument, it produces an object with the value from 0 to that argument. If it is called with two arguments, the produce that argument. produce first first to second value. Okay, so पहिल्यांदा आपण म्हणजे एक्झाम्पल okay, it is argument will be equal to range of 12. Okay, it will produce first, second, and numbers, then numbers for 3, 4, 7. Okay, and then print range of equal to range of 0, 20. Okay, so print range of equal to range of same. Same to be print 20 करा, 0, 20 करा.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, whenever I'm leaving from the meeting, just somebody please call me, okay? Because 10 minutes is over. I am just talking. ओके. एक काम करत जावा ज्यावेळेस असं काही झालं कारण की स्लाइड्स माझे दुसऱ्या टॅब वरती असतात आणि यू गाईज आर ऑन अनदर टॅब्स सो इट इज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू चेक एव्हरी टाइम्स दॅट गुगल मीट ओके. तर 10 मिनिट झाले आय वॉज नॉट अवेअर अबाउट दॅट आय वॉज लेफ्ट फ्रॉम दिस मीटिंग सो आय जस्ट रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल द पीपल्स what you have to do is whenever I leave from the meeting you just call me okay directly within fraction of second you just call me whenever I'm not in the meeting room okay sorry for that so it's almost 10 minutes is over so I was just talking okay fine so कुठे होतो आपण that we are representing the list at what time what point I was left म्हणजे मी कुठून लिफ्ट झालेले just remind me that point somebody please somebody please remind me at what point I left from the meeting. Gayatri, Gayatri Dikshit. She's there?
Yes, ma'am.
Gayatri
Yes,
Dikshit.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, मला सांगा की मी कुठल्या पॉइंट पासून लेफ्ट झालेले so that I can repeat that point.
Ma'am, we left no.
Actually,
No.
not you, I. Snehal Pujari, Snehal Pujari, Koyal Sawant, Koyal Sawant, Anisa Sawant, Koyal, she is not there. Anisa Sawant, she's also not there. She just started the meetings. So Akshada, Akshada, Preeti Chavan, प्रीती चव्हाण
Yes, ma'am.
हा मला सांगा की मी कुठल्या पॉइंट पासून लेफ्ट झालेले विच पॉइंट प्रीती चव्हाण आय एम आस्किंग यू
Ma'am, from list, I think so. List, ma'am. I don't know
लिस्ट
exactly.
रेंज रेंज झालेला प्रीती रेंज इज ओव्हर
Yes, ma'am. Range is over.
ओके देन रेंज इन लिस्ट
No, ma'am.
okay so from that point I think I was left so the for loop is commonly used to repeat some code repeat some code a certain number of times. This is done by combining for loops with range object. Okay, so if you need to print same numbers frequently, then you can go for the range functions. So I just executed the programs for I in range of 5. Okay, and simply for I in range of 5. So that is we need to specify the block and then we need to print one word that is word name is Python. Okay, and then enter. Okay, so 5 times the Python will get printed. So one note is there, you don't need to call list on a range object when it is used for loops because it isn't being indexed, so list isn't required. Okay, so that is the range function in the list. So a loop statement. So this is our flowchart for the loops. A loop statement allows you to execute the statement or a group of statement multiple times. The following diagram shows the loop statements. Okay, so loop is if and else part. So suppose here our flowchart starts here. If conditional code, that is if else, then else. If your condition is true, then the statement will get executed. If the condition is false, then it will go for the else part. The Python programming language provides the following types of loops to handle the looping requirement. ओके, सो कुठले कुठले लूप्स बघितले आपण? फॉर लूप्स बघितले, पायथॉन फॉर लूप्स. सो फॉर लूप इज यूज टू इटरेटिंग द वर सिक्वेन्स दॅट इज आयदर अ लिस्टमध्ये असेल किंवा टपल्स असेल, डिक्शनरी असेल, सेट असेल किंवा स्ट्रिंग असेल, तर त्याच्यामध्ये आपण काय करतो? फॉर लूप यूज करतो. दिस इज लेस लाईक दॅट. Keyword in other programming language works more like an iterator methods as found in other object-oriented programming language. With the for loops, we can execute set of statements once for each items in a list tuple or set. म्हणजेच काय, आपण फॉर लूपचा यूज कुठे कुठे करू शकतो? पायथॉन मध्ये, लिस्ट मध्ये, सेट मध्ये, टपल्स मध्ये, डिक्शनरी मध्ये. ओके, त्याच्यासाठी आपण फॉर लूप यूज करतो. सो एक्झाम्पल दिले अजून फॉर लूपचे. For print each fruit in a fruit list. Print each fruit in a fruit list. Suppose fruits is equal to that is apple, second is banana, and third is banana, and third is cherry. Third is cherry. Then enter and for x in fruit. X in fruits. Then enter and print of x. Then enter. So apple, banana and cherry. हे काय झाले तुमचे? With the help of for loops, we are printing the list within that loop. Okay. The for loop does not require indexing variables or set beforehand. म्हणजे फॉर लूप साठी तुम्हाला कुठल्याही इंडेक्सची गरज नाही की इंडेक्सिंग व्हेरिएबलची गरज नाहीये. सो दॅट इज द गिव्ह. नेक्स्ट आहे ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट आहे. ओके, ब्रेक स्टेटमेंटचे पण आपण एक्झाम्पल्स बघितलेत. तर इथे एक एक्झाम्पल आहे ब्रेक स्टेटमेंटचा. इन अ ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट वी कॅन स्टॉप द लूप बिफोर इट हॅज लूप throughout all the items. Okay, for that purpose we are using the break statement. Example दिले फ्रुट्सच आहे, fruit, apple, banana and cherry. Then x for x in fruits. For x in fruits, then print of x. Okay, if x is equal to banana, x is equal to banana, then break. Then break. Print of x if okay, तर ऍपल अँड बनाना दॅट विल बी प्रिंटेड. बनाना झालं की आपण काय केलंय? ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट यूज केलं. म्हणजेच काय, चेरी एक्झिक्यूट होणार नाही. डायरेक्टली दोनच आपले आयटम्स एक्झिक्यूट होतील लिस्ट मधले. पहिला म्हणजे ऍपल, दुसरा म्हणजे बनाना. ओके, सो दॅट इज फॉर द ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट. एल्स इन अ फॉर लूप्स. एल्स पण आपल्याला माहिती आहे we have already executed. The else keyword in a for loop specify block of code to be executed when the loop is finished. Okay. Example, print all the numbers from 0 to 5 and print a message when the loop has ended. आपल्याला प्रिंट करायचं आहे numbers from 0 to 5 and print all the message when the loop has ended. So use for loops to print the number from 0 to 5. So आता इथे 0 to 5 यूज करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला काय यूज करावं लागेल, रेंज. So range of 6. Okay. So next print of x, then else print finally finish. Then enter. So पहिल्यांदा इथे काय होणार आहे, 0 to 5 नंबर्स प्रिंट होणार फॉर एक्स इन रेंज ऑफ 6. म्हणजे 6च्या रेंज मधले नंबर्स काय होणार आहेत, प्रिंट होणार आहेत. अदरवाइज एल्स प्रिंट फायनली फिनिश. म्हणजेच काय, तो ब्लॉक किंवा तो फॉर लूप काय झाला, फिनिश झाला. सो दॅट इज फॉर द एल्स लूप इन फॉर लूप. नेक्स्टेड लूप म्हणजे काय, एकापेक्षा जास्त लूप्स यूज करायचे. Nested loop is a loop inside a loops. The inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. For example, print each adjective of every fruits. Print each adjective of every fruits. The apple is a red, banana is a big, and cherry is a tasty. So adjective is, so I will write adjective is equal to apple is red, comma, banana is big, and cherry is tasty. Cherry is tasty. So I will write here tasty. Then end. Then fruits. Then fruits is equal to apple, second banana, then third is cherry. Third is cherry. Then enter. Now for x in adjective, sorry, adjective, then fruit, then for x in adjective, that is used. Then for y in fruits, and then print of x and y, print of x comma y. Okay, so red is apple, red is banana, red is cherry, big is apple, big is banana, big is cherry, and tasty is apple, tasty is banana, and then tasty as in cherry. Okay, so that will be printed. Nested loops म्हणजे एकापेक्षा जास्त जर स्टेटमेंट तुम्हाला यूज प्रिंट करायचं असेल तर यू कॅन यूज देन नेक्स्टेड loop statement. Or nested loop is a loop inside a loops. The inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loops. So next is an exception handling. So what is exception handling? So I will tell Exception, when an error occurs, an exception as well as we call it a Python will normally stop and generate an error message. एक्सेप्शन म्हणजे काय, आता जावामध्ये इन टर्म्स ऑफ जावा आय विल टेल exception is nothing but the runtime error. Exception is nothing but the runtime errors. So how to handle that runtime errors with the help of Python, that we are going to see. When an error occurs, an exception as we call it means that whenever the runtime errors will occurs, that runtime error is called as an exceptions. Python will normally stop and generate an error message. In Python, the exception will occur, then it will directly stop and generate the error message. This exception can be handled using the try statement. So how to handle this exception? With the help of try, catch and finally blocks. With the help of finally block. Same statements are there to handle the exception in the Python as well. Try, catch and finally block. The try block will generate an exception because X is not defined. Try example is given. The try block will generate an exceptions because X is not defined. Whenever the user is not going to define X, at that times exception going to occur. So I will see after. Okay, so I will print the statement try, then print of X, and then except that is exception. Except म्हणजे काय exception, then print an exception occurred. Okay, and then end. Okay, try, then print except, and then that is try block again will be block the exception. 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 Okay, fine. Yeah, now it is audible. Who's ping me? Now it is audible. Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Who's there? Roll number A division 18. Now it is audible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So since that कुठे होतो आपण exception handling ला that program I have executed, since the try block rise an errors, the except block will be executed. Without the try block, the program will crash and rise an exceptions. जर तुम्ही try block यूज नाही केला तर काय होणार आहे, तुमचा प्रोग्राम क्रॅश होणार आहे and it will give as an error. Second example is given, the statement will rise an error because x is not defined. Now I will print that line, print of x, print of x, then it will give as an error. So error is name x is not defined, that x is not defined. So next is in, so that is the use of try statement. Second is a exceptions. So many exception, you can define as many exception block as you want. म्हणजेच काय तुम्हाला कितीही
Ma'am,
exception,
screen
yeah,
is not visible.
it is not visible. ओके, एक्सेप्शन तर समजलं का, एक्सेप्शन काय असते ते, हँडलिंग एक्सेप्शन इथेपर्यंत तर समजलं का. जस्ट ड्रॉप मी द मेसेज ऑन द चॅट बॉक्स. एक्सेप्शन समजलं का काय असते ते, सो दॅट मॅम स्क्रीन इज नॉट विजिबल. ओके ओके फाईन. सो एव्हरीबडी अंडरस्टूड एक्सेप्शन, how to handle the exceptions. So exception is nothing. Okay, I will repeat. Goikar, Jnaneshwar. Okay, so how to handle the exception in the Python. So exception म्हणजे काय, ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही एखादा प्रोग्राम रन करता, रन केल्यानंतर ज्या एरर्स येतात त्याला काय म्हणायचं, एक्सेप्शन्स. आता जावा मध्ये तुम्ही कसं करताय की पहिल्यांदा कंपाईल प्रोग्राम करताय आणि देन you are executing the programs. Whenever you are compiling the programs, you will get the errors. At that time, that error is called as a compile time errors. And whenever you are executing the programs, if your program is successfully executed without any compilation errors, it means that you are executing that programs. Once you are executing that programs and still you are getting the errors on the screen, or still you are getting the errors on that console, so that error is called as an exceptions. That error is called as an exception. It means that whenever you are executing the programs and still you are getting the errors, so that error is called as an exception. Now how to handle that exceptions, and now how to handle that errors, you cannot call it as an errors, you can call it as an exceptions. Now how to handle that exceptions, there are three different way to handle the exceptions in the Java and in Python. The same statements are there in the Python as well, that is try, catch and finally. तीन ब्लॉक आहेत. पहिला आहे ट्राय, दुसरा आहे कॅच, तिसरा आहे फायनली. आता ट्राय, आता याचे सिंटॅक्स मी तुम्हाला इन शॉर्ट सांगते, ट्राय, कॅच आणि फायनली ब्लॉकचे. ओके, सो ट्राय and then statement, then statement followed by semicolon. So that is the syntax for try. And catch, exception, catch exception of E. Okay, and then statement, then statement followed by semicolon. So try, catch, and third is an finally. Finally. So that these are the three keywords used to handle the exception followed by semicolon. It is visible. Try, then statement followed by semicolon. Then complete the bracket. Then catch exception E. Exception E is nothing but the exception. एक्सेप्शनचे पण परत टाइप आहेत. इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ बाउंड एक्सेप्शन आहे, देन अरे इंडेक्स आउट ऑफ बाउंड एक्सेप्शन्स आहे, ते तुम्हाला जावामध्ये होतीलच. ओके, सो आता तुम्ही फक्त ह्याचे ट्राय, कॅच आणि फायनली ब्लॉकचे सिंटॅक्स लक्षात ठेवा. ट्राय स्टेटमेंट, कॅच स्टेटमेंट अँड फायनली स्टेटमेंट्स. Okay, so that is an exception. So how to handle that exception? There are three ways to handle the exception. First is a try, second is a catch, and third is a finally blocks. I will repeat. When an error occurs, exception as we call it. म्हणजेच काय, ज्या वेळेस प्रोग्राममध्ये एरर येतो त्यालाच काय म्हणायचं आपण, एक्सेप्शन म्हणायचं. पायथॉन will normally stop and generates an error message. So exception can be handled using the try statement. As already said that exception can be handled with the help of try statement. Example is there. Try block will generate an exception because x is not defined. Because x is not defined. So let's see here. Try will close it. जर तुम्ही एक्स डिफाईन नाही केला तर काय होतं, एक्सेप्शन प्रोग्राम मध्ये राइज होते. सो ट्राय, देन आयडेंटिटेंट, एंटर, प्रिंट ऑफ एक्स, then except. That except is nothing but the exception. Except is nothing but the exceptions, but in short it can written as an except. Print in double quote an error occurred. An error occurred. Okay, just forget about the spelling mistake. Okay, so output will be the an error occurred. का, कारण की try print of x, तर मी x हा ऑलरेडी कुठे डिफाईन नाही केलेला, डायरेक्टली आय एम जस्ट simply typing print of x, but what is x we don't know na, what is x we don't know, so directly I have given here exception, the print and x error occurred. So that is nothing but the try block. So since the try block rise and errors, the except block will be executed. म्हणजेच काय, जर तुमचा ट्राय ब्लॉक मध्ये जर एरर असेल तर तुमचा एक्सेप्ट ब्लॉक काय होणार आहे, एक्झिक्यूट होणार आहे. विदाउट ट्राय ब्लॉक द प्रोग्राम विल क्रॅश अँड राइज अँड एरर्स. जर ट्राय ब्लॉक तुम्ही यूजच नाही केला प्रोग्राम मध्ये तर काय होणार आहे, प्रोग्राम विल क्रॅश अँड राइज अँड एरर. तर दुसरी स्टेटमेंट बघा, दिस स्टेटमेंट एक्झाम्पल सेकंड दिलंय. दिस स्टेटमेंट विल राइज अन एरर बिकॉज एक्स इज नॉट डिफाईन्ड. ओके, सिम्पली जर तुम्ही विदाउट ट्राय ब्लॉक एक्स प्रिंट केलं तर काय होणार आहे, एरर दाखवणार आहे. नेम एरर, नेम एक्स इज नॉट डिफाईन्ड. नेम, कारण की एक्स हे व्हेरिएबल्स मी ऑलरेडी कुठे डिफाईन नाही केलं, त्याच्यामुळे तिथे काय कुठले एरर जनरेट झाले, नेम एरर. सो दॅट इज नथिंग बट द एक्सेप्शन. सो अंडरस्टूड. कोण होता तो, व्हॉट वॉज द नेम ऑफ द स्टुडंट, ज्ञानेश्वर. ज्ञानेश्वर, आर यू देअर? Jnaneshwar, understood now? ज्ञानेश्वर गोयकर. ओके. कोणाला डाऊट आहे अजून? एक्सेप्शन नाही समजलं? कोणाला डाऊट आहे का अजून? Okay. So we will stop here, and for later part we will continue for next lecture. For today's lecture, we have covered only control structures, that control structures and flow structures. In that, we have seen various control blocks like if, else, next, else if, the nested if else, then list, how to specify the range in the list operation, different list operation like your reassign the values to the list, then addition, then multiplication, then list methods, then range functions in the list. The points are including in smart options. It is handle say first and we are going to cover further. We are going to just here. I'm taking your attendance. And one by one, everybody can give your attendance. So start from division A. Division A. E. Roll number one.
Present.
Roll number one.
Present.
Don't put message on the chat box. I'm taking your attendance. Don't worry about it because it is going to mismatch your attendance if you put attendance on the chat box. Roll number one, division A.
Present.
Roll number two,
Present, ma'am.
three,
Present, ma'am.
four,
Present, ma'am.
two,
Present,
roll number
ma'am.
six,
Present. Present, ma'am.
eight,
7 present, ma'am.
eight,
Present.
nine,
Present, ma'am.
10, 10, 11,
Present, ma'am.
12,
Present, ma'am.
13, 13, 13 absent. Division A, 14,
Present, ma'am.
15,
Present, ma'am.
16,
Present, ma'am.
17, roll number 17, absent. Roll number 18,
Present, ma'am.
roll number 19,
Present, ma'am.
20,
Present, ma'am.
21,
Present.
22,
Present, ma'am.
23,
Present, ma'am.
24,
Present.
25,
Present, ma'am.
26,
Present, ma'am.
27,
Present, ma'am.
28,
Present, ma'am.
29,
Yes, ma'am.
30,
Yes, ma'am.
31, 31, 32,
Yes, ma'am.
33,
Present.
34,
Yes, ma'am.
35, 35, absent.
Yes, ma'am.
36,
Yes,
36,
ma'am.
present, ma'am.
Present.
37, 37,
Present, ma'am.
38,
Present, ma'am.
39,
Ma'am, 35 present.
39,
Present, ma'am.
40,
39. Present, ma'am. Present.
41, 42,
Present, ma'am.
43,
Present, ma'am.
43, 44,
Present, ma'am.
45,
Present, ma'am.
46,
Present, ma'am.
47,
Present, ma'am.
48, 48 absent,
Present, ma'am.
49,
Ma'am,
Present, ma'am. Present.
50, 50, 50 absent, 51,
Present, ma'am.
52, 52, 52 absent, 53,
Present.
54,
Present.
55,
Present.
56,
Present.
57,
Present.
58,
Present.
59, 59, absent, 60, 61, absent,
Present, ma'am.
62, 62, absent, 63,
Present, ma'am.
64, 64, 65,
Present.
66,
Present.
67,
Present.
68,
Present.
69,
Present.
70,
Present.
71.
Last, madam, A division.
Okay. So division B. T. A division students, you can leave from the meeting. All. So I will.
Ma'am, tell the absentee numbers, no?
Yeah. I forgot. So I will tell you the absent roll numbers for division A. Roll number 13, 17, 43, 50, 52, 59, 60, 62, 64.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
43 present, ma'am, from A division.
Okay. Okay. 43 is present. Now division B. Roll number 1.
Present,
Roll
ma'am.
number 2. Roll number 2. Renuka. Roll number 2. Roll number 3. 2 is absent. Roll number 3.
Present,
Absent.
ma'am. Roll number 3.
Roll number 4.
Present.
Roll number 4. Roll number.
Ma'am, 3 present.
अरे हो 3 present है. Roll number 4. I'm just calling roll number 4. Who's 4? 4 is absent. 5 is absent.
Present, ma'am.
6. Roll number 6. Roll number 6 absent. Roll number 7.
Present, ma'am.
Roll number 8.
Present, ma'am.
Roll number 9.
Present, ma'am.
Roll number 10.
Present, ma'am.
11.
Present, ma'am.
12.
Present, ma'am.
13.
Present, ma'am.
14.
Present, ma'am.
15.
Present, ma'am.
16.
Present, ma'am. 16.
17.
Yes, ma'am.
18.
Present, ma'am.
19. 19. Roll number 19. Absent. 20. Absent. 21. 22. 23.
Present, ma'am.
24.
Yes, ma'am.
25.
Present, ma'am.
26.
Present, ma'am.
27.
Present, ma'am.
28. 28. 29. 29. 30.
Present, ma'am.
31. 31. 32. 33. 34. 34. 35. 36. 37. 8. 39. 40. 41. 42.
Present, madam.
43. 44.
Present.
45.
Yes, madam.
46.
Yes, madam.
47. 47. 48.
Yes, ma'am.
49.
Present, ma'am.
50.
Present, ma'am.
51.
Present, ma'am.
52.
Present, ma'am.
53.
Present, ma'am.
54. 55. 55 absent. 56. 57.
Present.
58. 58. 59.
Present.
60.
Present.
61.
Yes, ma'am.
62. 63. 64. 63. 64. 65. 66.
Present, ma'am.
67. 67. 68. 69. 70.
Present.
71. 72.
Present, ma'am.
73. 74.
Present, ma'am.
70, 75.
Present, ma'am.
76.
Present, ma'am.
77. 78, 79, 80, up to 80, right? So 81, 82. Okay. So I will call the absent number for division B. Roll number 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 6, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 28, 29, 31, 32, 33, 34, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 43, 47, 45. Sorry, 47, 55, 56, 58, 62, 64, 65, 67, 68, 69, 71, 73, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82.
Hello, ma'am.
75, ma'am.
76, ma'am.
Roll number 4.
37, madam.
Ma'am, roll
37,
number 3.
7,
37.
roll
37,
number.
37.
Roll number 3.
Okay. Okay. Next.
Hello, ma'am. Roll number
33.
75. 3.
3 is over. Next. 55 is over.
4.
Next.
4.
75.
Roll number 4 is over. 75. Okay. Next.
I'm 24.
33.
26.
Ma'am, 23.
76. Okay.
Ma'am 59.
23. Okay. Next.
33, ma'am.
24, ma'am.
33 is over. Okay. 33 is over. Next.
What about 4, ma'am?
23, ma'am.
4 is over. Next.
Thank you.
Next. अजून कोण राहिले?
B 59.
24, ma'am.
24. Next.
37, madam.
37. Done. Next.
Huh.
मॅडम
बोला.
मॅडम डिव्हिजन 59
Division.
ए
A division 59. Okay. Next. Okay. Now you can leave from the meeting.